Hey everybody, what's going on? Paul from hashtag. Welcome to a impromptu live stream. Hello everybody. Uh, the Buffalo Bills just made a move with Stefon Diggs. So let's kind of unpack that a little bit because there's some really cool stuff going on there that makes you wonder what the circumstances around this are. So just to give you an FYI, so Stefon Diggs ended up taking his contract and moving his base salary and converting about $11.7 million of that into a signing bonus. Now, to kind of understand what exactly that means, basically what it does is it takes that $11 million figure that Stefon Diggs has and then divides it out over the rest of his contract. Okay. When he came to Buffalo, the Bills did give Diggs, a small signing bonus, right? They restructured his deal a little bit, gave him a small signing bonus. Well, this is going to accelerate that quite a bit because you're taking $11.7 million and now you're going to be saving Buffalo $7.8 million by doing this in this year. Now, it makes him a little bit more expensive every year after, but the truth of the matter is Bean structures his contracts in such a way that you can kind of get away with doing this. You have the room to move base salary to signing bonus money because it doesn't do it all that often. A team like New Orleans does it constantly, ad nauseum, to be honest, and it puts your team in a compromised situation down the road. Bean does it so infrequently that this is a useful tool for generating salary cap space for them. Now, right now, Buffalo is $4.6 million in salary cap space. They do have a little bit of work to do because I don't think Rousseau signed yet. I know they've signed Basham. I know they've got some of their players, drafted players, under contract, but Rousseau is not under contract yet. So they needed a little bit of space to get Rousseau signed. But isn't it strange how you wait till after June 1st to do this? And I guess that's kind of where I sit with this is you waited till after June 1st to do this, which means that teams who were looking to trade a player with, I don't know, a lot of salary that they can't get rid of, well, now you've got space to do that. So let's unpack a little bit about what it means to make a trade in the NFL. First off, let's say the Bills want to trade for Julio Jones. They can't. Don't have the salary space to even take on his base salary. That move would put them above the salary cap. There would have to be corresponding moves to free up salary cap space. This could be one of those moves. Now, I'm not saying the Bills are going to trade for anybody. I'm not going to say the Bills are signing for anybody. But I will say that Bean wouldn't do this move for no reason. You don't make Stefon Diggs more expensive in future years for no reason. You freed up $7.8 million in salary cap space to couple with the 4.6-ish that you already had. Okay. So now the Bills have over $11 million in salary, got about $12 million in salary cap space. Now you can sign Rousseau, who you have not signed at this point, right? You still haven't signed your first round draft pick. And now you can start looking at who do you want to go after, right? Is there a player out there that you want to go after? Is there a number you can get that player at? Not only that, but teams like the Eagles, like the Falcons, they kind of had to wait in order to trade some of these players. So let me give you an example, right? Let's talk about Zach Ertz just very quickly. Zach Ertz, in order to trade Zach Ertz, the Eagles were going to end up saving about $5 million, but it was going to cost them $7.7 million to have traded Zach Ertz ahead of June 1st. Now that June 1st is here, the Eagles would be able to trade Zach Ertz and push some of that money to next year. They'd be able to push about $3.5 million to next year's salary cap. Okay, so now it's only going to cost the Eagles $4.2 million in dead money to trade Ertz. They're going to save more. They're going to save 8.5. They're going to save all of his base salary if they trade him now. And yes, Buffalo would need to absorb $8.5 million of Zach Ertz base salary in order to take that deal on a one-year deal face value. That's what he's going to cost. 1 year, $8.5 million. You have the space to go out and acquire Zach Ertz now if you want to, without having to restructure a deal, without having to sign into a contract extension. You could make the move, get him in-house, figure out if it works. You could do that now if you want to. You couldn't do that before. You have the space now to go out and acquire Zach Ertz. If you want to go out and get Julio Jones, well, now we got to pump the brakes a little bit don't quite have that much money yet, right? Julio's base salary, I think, is like $15 million. So you got a long way to go before you can get to Julio money, right? You got a good long way to go. But with all that being said, you don't make these moves unless there's something on the burner that you need. Normally, a move like this for Brandon Beane is a corresponding move. This is the start of something. I don't know what that something is. I don't think any of us really know what that something is because one Bills drive is buttoned up super tight. And I'm so thankful for that. Can I tell you how thankful I am that we don't have a leaky organization? Oh my God. I'm so thankful we don't have a leaky organization. But by Stefon Diggs going out and moving $7.8 million this year, he has unlocked the Buffalo Bills to go out and go get a Zach Ertz, to go out and get, you want to get a little bit younger at edge, and there's a team that's looking to move edge. Go ahead, you could do that now. You could do all of this, right? It's all totally open and available to you. It can all happen. What do you want to happen? What do you want to happen? It can happen now. You want to go out and get a player? Go out and get him. You need a little bit of help at, you're not too happy at linebacker. There's a team out there that's shopping linebackers. You can go out and get them. You got the space now to do it because you can go out and start big dog hunting. And yeah, the Bills may need to make other moves down the road. Like now that we're past June 1st, you can start having the conversation of, well, what are we going to do with Jerry Hughes on the last year of his deal? Is Jerry sticking around? We just drafted 2 defensive ends. How did OTAs look? Like the timing of this is very peculiar because Beane wouldn't do this unless there was a corresponding move. Something is coming. I don't know what it is. I was actually just editing a video that I cut this morning on Josh Allen's contract extension. That we got to talk about that now. We know what the salary cap's going to be for 2022. What are we going to do about Josh Allen's contract? You're probably not going to do anything today with it, right? But you also got Tremaine Edmonds that you got to deal with. Like there's problems that you have that you can address now that are short-term issues and long-term issues because now you have salary cap space. And Beane's done a very good job of this. Being unaware or unsure of what 2022 was going to hold for him. A lot of the deals that he brought in are all deals that they're flat, right? You're going to pay the same amount for the player this year as you are next year, which makes the Bills so dangerous next year. If the salary cap is going to increase because you're going to have an incumbent roster coming back at the same cost as the year before, and you could be aggressive. You need a corner. You're not thrilled with Dane Jackson and Levi Wallace out there. You can go out and get a corner now. You can go out and trade for a corner. You can go out and get one in free agency. You can go out and get 3 of them. You can do what you need to do now to make this roster fit because now it's been announced you're able to bring 90 players into camp. Now, mind you, the players that you're signing, like let's say you're going to sign a bunch of undrafted free agents to finish rounding out your roster. They don't count against your salary cap. They're below the top 51 contracts. Only the top 51 contracts count against your salary cap. So Bills could fill out the roster and not use any of this newfound salary cap space. Okay, all a possibility, but it's there. You have the opportunity to strike, improve your roster. You can improve your linebacker position. You can improve your cornerback position. You can improve you can continue to put resources to edge rusher. There's a lot of different things that you can do now that you have salary cap space. Maybe one of them is going to get Zach Ertz. It's not the move that I would make. I'm just going to be honest about that. But it's a move a lot of people are going to talk about. And there's many talented players in the NFL who are on rosters that teams would love to get an asset for. But you need salary cap space in order to trade for those players. And the Bills have really been unable to do that because the player's base salary had to be below like $3 million. Most teams aren't trading away players whose base salary is only $3 million. But I could tell you a bunch of teams that are going to trade away players whose base salary are $6 million and $7 million. There are a lot of teams that want to deal that player. And Buffalo's in the market for that player now. Right. And the nice thing about when you acquire a player via trade is all that crazy signing bonus money that makes a player really expensive later. You don't have to deal with any of that. You only have to worry about their base salary and their incentives, their playing incentives. That's all you have to deal with. That's it. It's a nice, clean deal that often you can walk away from whenever you want. This is a beautiful example of being smart with his money and making the move on the right day. Beane makes this move. They could have done this move weeks ago, months ago, right? They didn't. They waited till after June. They waited till after that June 1st deadline passed, because now teams are going to say, well, we have a little bit more. We could save more space if we deal this player now. And Buffalo just throws the card on the table. It was like, we got cash. We got this. We got our stimmy, baby. Stimulus cashed in. Let's go. And Buffalo just cashed in a huge insurance policy. And they had this money sitting there the whole time. But why do it if you don't have to? Why make Stefon Diggs more expensive against the salary cap without giving him any new money? Why do that? You didn't have to. This is why Brandon Beane structures his contracts the way they do. Smaller signing bonus, larger base salary. So that way, when you need the salary cap space, you can go, hey, Diggs, instead of you having to wait every week for your game check, what if we just gave you all that cash right now? Would you just want it all right now? Because we'll just give it to you all right now. Instead of having to wait for each NFL pay cycle to get your salary, let's just give you the whole thing right now. And they did. And what that does is it frees up $7.8 million. Now it's going to make Diggs a little bit more expensive the remaining years, just a few $1,000,000 a year. That's okay. It's absorbable. But you just put yourself on the table to go out and improve this roster by going out and big dog hunting those names that are out there. Again, you don't have enough space for Julio right now. Julio comes in, you got to restructure a deal. Could you get his number down in the $7 million range? Maybe, but the signing bonus would have to be pretty big. But you can't even submit trades to the NFL if you don't have salary cap space. If you're going to do a deal that puts you over the salary cap, the league does not approve it. You have to have space to make trades. The Bills just threw down the biggest trump card that they had with restructuring the Stefon Diggs deal. I'm pumped about it. I hope you're pumped about it. And I can't wait to see what the next news coming out of One Bills Drive is. All right, Paul from Hashtag. Hope you guys have a good one.